Ange, Rob and Robbo.
Streaming live across the globe, Anjali Rao, Rob McKnight and David Robinson.
Ange, Rob and Robbo. News, entertainment too. It's the Ange, Rob and Robbo. Ange, Rob and Robbo Show.
Welcome to the Ange, Rob and Robbo Show.
Welcome indeed to a brand new week. It's Monday. We love a Monday here on the Ange, Rob and Robbo Show. David Robinson is in the house and Anjali Rao. Robbo, are you thinking there? What's going on?
I was scratching. I'm trying to talk over the deluge that is currently just happening here on the Sunshine Coast. I don't know if anyone's heard. There's been a lot of rain around the place, and we can hear it now live. So it's very loud.
We can hear it. It is loud at the David Robinson Robbo Studios, all the way up there on the Sunshine Coast.
We'll work on that branding. Yeah, I like where you're going, though.
Catchy.
Anjali Rao, there's lots happening in your world. What events have you been to at the over the weekend? Which megastars have you been playing with?
Oh, well, so many. I can't possibly remember because they were just so much smaller than me. But I did go to the Polo in Dalesford, which was delightful with 10 friends. It was
oh, my goodness, did you? Oh, that's lovely on the Polo. Did you in the country? How gorgeous. Oh. Did you walk out and do that thing from Pretty Woman where you do the divots? Where you push the divots back in? Oh.
One must. It is the done thing at the Polo.
Dun, 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 dun. She's our own Pretty Woman. No offence, Robbo. I don't mean to take anything away from you. Hey, look, there is a lot coming up in tonight's edition of the Ange, Rob and Robbo Show. We will be speaking to Beck from Married at First Sight. And look, if you're not watching Married at First Sight, you really are missing out. I am absolutely addicted. Beck is in a big feud with Bryce. If you watch the show, this will make sense. If not, seriously, take part in this journey tonight because you will enjoy it. Jason Roses will also be bringing us the latest entertainment news. Dr. Phil is in a bit of trouble. A young lady has come out and made some accusations against him. Maybe not what you're thinking, but there certainly are some serious allegations being made. And on that front, there's lots
Not
happening.
my Dr. Phil.
Oh.
You love Dr. Phil, do you?
Yeah, all right, he's another hall pass. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there.
No.
He's not, oh my God, Rob.
Do you want to tickle that mustache and then polish the bald spot? Like, what are we...
Oh, no, you'd be tickling me with the mustache.
Dr. Phil, let me have a feel. Wow.
Oh,
this is going to make the segue into our next story really, really difficult. So I'm going to take a moment. There's a lot coming up. We'll be looking at the news of the day. And as I said, entertainment's coming up. But let's get into our hot button issues. Because a new sex scandal is rocking Parliament House with 10 News airing serious allegations of prostitution inside the halls of power. A whistleblower has revealed staffers and coalition MPs routinely have sex in the meditation room, which is also known as the prayer room. And one man even masturbated on the table of a female MP. Here's some of that report from Peter Van Onselen.
This man is sitting at a desk, exposing himself. You can't see it, but he's staring straight at the camera. That's a copy of the Parliament House rulebook beside him. Here, a man arrogantly points to the desk of a female Liberal MP, then performs a solo sex act on it. It's far too explicit to show or even describe. But Tom tells us it's common.
The fact that it's a female MP only adds to the disgrace that it is.
According to Tom, government staffers and even MPs often have sex in this small room on the upper level of the building. It's known as the prayer room or the meditation room.
You've been told by people who say they've had sex with MPs
Yes.
in the meditation room?
Yes. I could probably say there's very little meditation or prayer going on in that room.
A lot of sex?
A lot.
Tom can testify to that because he's done it himself.
Have you ever had sex at Parliament House?
Yes.
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 Which brings us to Tom's most startling revelation. He says he knows of prostitutes being brought into the building for the pleasure of coalition MPs.
Having sex, recruiting rent boys.
Prostitutes?
Yeah.
In Parliament House?
In Parliament House. Recruited by staffers for MPs.
Staffers getting male prostitutes to come to Parliament for MPs?
Yes.
How do you think Australians are going to feel finding this out?
I think they'll be pretty appalled.
Look, since that story went to air earlier tonight, a Liberal staffer has since been sacked. Robbo and Ange, there are a few issues to unpack here. Robbo, I want to get your first thoughts. What do you think about prostitutes being brought into Parliament House?
Well, firstly, I'd like to call them sex workers. Prostitutes is, sex work is real work. I think that's just very grubby and also tries to tarnish, that they're the grubby ones and the politicians aren't. That's the first thing.
That was certainly not my intention, Robbo, and the term rent boys had been used in the report, which I changed to prostitutes, so that's on me.
Well, no, it's not actually, Rob, and I don't think it is. And that certainly was in no way attacking you or trying to pull you up. It was just a very big kind of comment on Peter Van Onselen's report. So I do apologise. I know where you were coming from. I know that you have the utmost respect for all people like that, and that's all tickety-boo. So
thanks,
no worries at all on that. The other thing is, I think that's important for people to know that, we are very open-minded here. Anyway, sorry. What I didn't like also was are we still back on the idea that having gay sex is so scary and rent boys? It doesn't matter. They were all sex workers. Who cares? Move on.
No, to me, Robbo, if I can just say, because I'd really like your thoughts on this.
Oh, yes.
To me, the issue is if these are members of Parliament that are campaigning on family values, they're putting the wife and kids up and then getting rent boys into Parliament House. To me, that's a bigger issue than them actually doing all this in Parliament House. It's this line where they're lying about who they are to the public, and a lot of journalists will say, well, their private lives are off limits.
That's so
I don't subscribe to that theory.
To lie about who they are.
100%, Ed. 100%. So, Robbo, I just wanted to get that out, but the floor's yours, mate.
Which I think you were right, and I failed to make that connection, and you've made a very valid, very clear point there. I'm trying to really quickly analyse why I just didn't make that connection, and I think it's because I just don't put politicians on that higher level anymore. They are so gutter now, and we continue to hear these stories. What I don't like, and I'm going all over the place here, and you'll bring us back in because you're the great man that does that. But the other idea that I don't like is this idea, we are shocked and appalled. God, now, you're only shocked because it's come out, though. So this process has been going on for years. Samantha Maiden from news.com.au came out and tweeted and said, I first heard rumours about the meditation room in 98. Another Twitter user rightly pointed out, so you knew about it for all of this time, and nothing's ever been said about it. So don't get on your high horse. I also don't agree that journalists should get on their high horse and then go, this is terrible. You knew about it.
It's funny you say that, Robbo. I pulled up a report today, and there's a picture of our good friend of the show, Sam Dastiari, who was on an FM radio station in Brisbane, and he talked about the fact that there was a prayer room is frequently used for sex in a cringe-inducing FM radio. This report's described as when the Prime Minister was on that same radio station. This is Scott Morrison. On the same radio station the day after, and that grab was played to him, he said, he's a deal. Well, no. Sam Dastiari was telling us the truth, and nobody wanted to listen because of the culture of cover-up in Canberra. Ange.
Yep.
Oh, for sure. I mean, God, that's just 101. And, you'd sort of expect Sam to come out with something like that is truth. And you'd expect Morrison to do exactly what he did, which is just to, cover his own arse. That's exactly what's been going on here for God knows how long, but particularly with the last few weeks going into a month now that we've heard almost on a daily basis something else coming out about, sexual impropriety in Parliament. it's been just insane recently. And with the latest to come out this evening, with those pictures and what we just saw, when is it enough? Like, when is it enough for Scott Morrison to go, do you know what? This is absolutely absurd and disgusting and vile. And now we're going to have an investigation into sexual impropriety in Parliament. How much of this sort of thing has to go on before that actually comes to pass?
Well, the thing
that's
is,
what confuses me.
We keep talking about these investigations, but we don't even know the inquiry has been put on hold because it could, of who knew what when, has been put on hold because it could prejudice an AFP investigation. The Prime Minister today got called out for misleading Parliament from the opposition, of course, but because he has been saying the inquiry is ongoing, we will, maybe present things. And it became obvious that I think it was March 9, the AFP asked that the inquiry not go ahead because it could prejudice their investigation. So we're being told one thing by the Prime Minister while another's happening. Four corners tonight, and I only have caught bits and pieces of it. The security guard who found Brittany Higgins has never been questioned, never been asked about what she saw and what happened. And the first thing that happened when Brittany Higgins was found allegedly raped, but whatever state she was in, and I'm sorry we have to use that word allegedly, it is a legal issue that because nothing has been proven in a court of law. But the simple fact is, they didn't call a minister, they didn't call anyone of authority, they called the cleaners to clean up the mess and fix it for the minister so the minister could come in the following morning and have a clean office. So that's what we're talking about here, Ange.
Oh God, it's absolutely appalling. And later on when we talk news, of course, that's the story that we're covering with the security guard. But the fact that this is the first that we're hearing about anything that she's had to say about, that she even saw Brittany Higgins, about, what happened from then on, like what transpired, what she saw. And we're, 6 weeks into this? We've talked about it on almost a daily basis. And this is the first we're hearing. It's absolutely unconscionable.
Robert, I quickly want to talk about this point, because tonight they had the photos of these men. Channel 10 made the decision to blur them. What do you think?
Well, obviously, the very full-on, the blue nature of the photos, that needed to be pixelated. Do we...
No, I'm not talking about the nudity. I'm talking, because absolutely it was on the news. Yes. But the faces.
Yeah, yes. Yes, I was just setting that up there for a bit of drama. Yeah. I was getting to the... No. Yes, look, I think a big part of it, and I also read another article about it, and that is that they had to navigate their way around both defamation law but also revenge porn laws, because this is essentially revenge porn under the law, and that would have been a massive deal in putting out their faces. So, I mean, that's just the law, and that's what it is. And that's what happens with a lot of laws, I guess. They're put in place to protect people, and sometimes they protect the gross and the guilty as well. I wanted to put your thoughts on this. I'm going to throw another spanner in the work here. There was also other ideas floating around on Twitter that this was... Well, Morrison had something to do with it. It was kind of oh my God, look over here, look what we found. We're going to sack someone straight away so people realise that
I don't believe
we are in fact... You don't really?
No. I think this is a scandal the Liberal Party doesn't need, and coalition MPs, they literally said in that report, coalition MPs were having sex inside Parliament House. It is a workplace. It is not appropriate. And it's interesting.
But
when we were talking
you'll never
with...
hear the names. You'll never get names of those. You'll never get names of those MPs.
but even though... But still, it's a blight on his government. They literally said MPs were using this sex room, and that these MPs were getting male sex workers in for coalition MPs. So when you're a Conservative government and these kind of accusations are being made against people, ministers of Parliament in your party, this is not a diversion that the PM needs. This is more work that's going to go on. This is conspiracy theory stuff. And it's interesting. Here's something that after that report, someone tweeted me and pointed out that if you searched the words that were used in that report tonight about being close with the Prime Minister and such, it actually brought up the name of someone. And so I was able to see someone who was associated with those words on LinkedIn. That account has now been deleted.
Right.
And we also know that someone tonight has been sacked because they were identifiable. So, look, I want to bring up here that don't forget, help is available if this is bringing some issues up for you. 1-800-RESPECT. That's 1-800-737-732. And you know what? I think we need something lighter. I'm going to jump to topic 3 because I just think with all of this going on, we've spent a lot of time talking about this. Our topic 2 was Christian Porter and the appropriateness of him only doing half work. But you know what? I hope you guys don't mind. I'm a little bit... it's important we talk about this. We don't need to do 2 topics on it. Yeah. Christian Porter has dominated. This is a big issue that needs to be picked up, but I don't want to spend any more time on it. Guys?
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Happy to be overruled.
No, would never do it on air.
All right. Let's move on to something that's a little lighter, but still in our hot button issues zone. Well, after newspapers finally caught up on our exclusive story from ages ago that Daryl Somers would be back at the helm of the All-Stars edition of Dancing with the Stars, he has spoken about Hey Hey It's Saturday and how it would fare on television today. More specifically, he said it wouldn't. Speaking to the Sunday Telegraph, Somers said, "You probably could not get away with half the stuff you could on Hey Hey now because of the political correctness and the cancel culture. A lot of comics can't work much because what would have been just tongue-in-cheek previously now can easily get them into trouble." Hey Hey It's Saturday was the subject of multiple controversies over the years, particularly in their skits involving blackface. And you'll remember that one just in 2009 that was called out by Harry Connick Jr. during the reunion shows. And would Hey Hey It's Saturday have a place on today's screens, and should it?
Alright, so I know that show is like Aussier than singing Waltzing Matilda while scarfing down a Chico roll in your ute. And I'm fully expecting, anthrax or a nail bomb to be sent to me after I say this. But I once had the deep misfortune of watching Hey Hey 25 years ago. So I was going out with some Aussie guy in Hong Kong, and his best friend sent over a VHS of this utter nonsense. After 3 minutes, I said to him, "Whoever sent this to you is not your friend." And that 3 minutes is all I could manage. Oh, God, I agree that Hey Hey was deeply offensive because it was just so stupid. Oh, my God. But I do agree with Daryl Somers that cancel culture is killing entertainment as we know it, and it's going too far. You've got Chris Lilly, Little Britain, Gone with the Wind, and Pepe Le Pew all being sent to the Showbiz Glue Factory. It's absurd. But look, when it comes to Hey Hey, so even if they change the soul of the show, which would destroy it anyway, and if that's what you're into, and made sure that it wasn't racist and it wasn't belittling to women, the appetite for a Saturday evening family variety show just isn't there anymore.
I disagree completely. I disagree completely, Ange. I think we're hanging out for it. They tried to do it with Rove, and they go, "Oh, nobody's interested in Saturday night TV because Rove didn't work." Sorry, Rove's not funny. Sorry, I said it. Yes, I'm anti-Australian.
Agreed.
Rove's not funny.
Agreed. He's never been funny. He can't interview.
I've met him enough times.
He can't make a joke.
I've spent enough time in his company to know that he's not funny.
I'm sorry, he's not.
I don't think so.
When he had his own Tonight Show, I enjoyed the people around him. Loved Peter Hellier and loved the comics that came on. Sure. Rove wasn't funny. And look, Daryl's a bit in that category. Daryl is sort of like the straight man, and he had a lot of funny people around him. But here's the thing. Ange, that blackface skit that aired during the reunions.
I remember that, yes.
Most Australians, I'm going to put it on the table now, most Australians did not think twice about it because they have the history of it. We don't have the blackface history, for one, in this country, right? So we don't have it in the same derogative terms that America does and the bigger issue. But it wasn't until Harry Connick Jr. on that very same show stood up and said, I can't be part of this, this isn't right. Australia as a whole went, really? You know, it's easy in 2021 to actually look back and say, talk about racism and all that kind of stuff. But that, you may look at me funny for that, Ange, but it was a wake-up call for this country. It was a moment where I think we grew up as a country and started to understand why these things weren't acceptable.
Yeah, because, you know, racism is widely condoned here. I've experienced it like nowhere else
which
in the
you've
world.
said.
Absolutely. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I completely agree with that statement, 1,000%.
Yeah. Robert, you disagree?
Yeah, no. I was going for the angle that Ange was also going for. It doesn't make us any better that we looked at that and thought, oh, is there a problem? Like, that speaks volumes of us as a country, that we had to get pointed out to us. I also think, even in 2009, a lot of people stuffed up that night. A lot of people who allowed, like, I'm not even looking at it through the prism of 2021. I'm looking at it just at any point since the 70s, that you can't really do that anymore. And it should have just read alarm bells. And maybe they did. Maybe there were some people that fought it, and, you know, the bigger powers that be in the time just went, no, you know, it's Channel 9. No, we're going to do it. Who cares? Maybe, I don't know.
No, I don't think it was like that. I think the reunion specials rated well. They brought back the series, and there was a problem, but I'll let you finish your thoughts. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, but I was just saying that I think that there should have been alarm bells even back then. The other thing is, I think that Daryl's right. You can't do a show like Hey Hey or any kind of show like that because everyone's outraged by something. That's the problem. Now, obviously, we're talking about blackface here, which should be offensive to everyone. But in this day and age where someone can be offended by the minute, you know, of detail, well, that just takes away that kind of unscripted, anything can happen, fly by the seat of your pants television that we just can't have anymore because someone on Twitter will get offended by one comment that one person makes.
No, well, you could say that about this show, but you've got to soldier on. Here's the thing. Hey Hey It's Saturday could still be alive today. The problem is after the reunion shows, they did not evolve the show. So when they did the reunion shows, they did the show that we had watched growing up. And we all went, nice trip down memory lane. And then Channel 9 commissioned a series of specials because they went, wow, ratings gold. And the show didn't change. And that's the point where the show should have come into the 2000s and actually evolved and evolved its humour and evolved the format. Daryl blew an opportunity. I would love to see that show back on our screens or a show like it. I want variety. I love variety. I love what we do. There's a little bit of variety in what we do here sometimes. We don't have a big studio to be able to do dance numbers and stuff like that, but we have a laugh. We have, it's that live interaction. It's that live fun. And I just think it was a missed opportunity, and I do think Australians would tune in for it, personally.
Can I say 3 words to you? Because I agree with you, and I would love to see a Tonight Show or a variety show. Sunday Night Takeaway. Just so much money thrown at that variety.
Yeah, but terrible.
Program,
oh, God, yeah.
I know that, but that's what I'm like, because it's so beige, because you have to be beige now. That's my problem here.
Yeah.
And they had truckloads of money. And we're talking not like 7 and 9 money. We're talking Channel 10 money, which is very bloody hard to come by, as we all know. And they threw cash at that program. But it was just beige and benign and nothing too overproduced. It didn't have... I think in variety, especially now more than ever, but you can't have it, is that idea that anything could happen. It could be bad, good... whatever, that's the problem, and that's where shows like Sunday Night Takeaway don't work.
I agree.
Works
what about this?
It just could go crazy. Yes?
I blew it.
Are you having an idea?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that smoke is.
Hang on.
There's a lot of smoke coming out of the Gold Coast right now.
God damn it. I was trying to find the McKnight Tonight theme. McKnight Tonight. And I blew it. Totally blew it. Sorry. All right. I promise so much, deliver so little. The youngest of the Kardashian-Jenner clan, Kylie Jenner, has landed herself in hot water, with some labelling her as stingy. After a makeup artist was involved in an accident resulting in him needing emergency brain surgery, Kylie Jenner posted a plea on Instagram for her followers to donate to his GoFundMe page. She said, "May God watch over you and protect you, Samuel. Everyone take a moment to say a prayer for Sam, who got into an accident this past weekend, and swipe up to visit his family's GoFundMe." However, when people visited the link, they were quick to point out that Kylie had only donated $5,000. Last year, Forbes declared Kylie Jenner a billionaire, although that has since been retracted and she is thought to only be worth a mere $900 million. Many declared that Kylie could pay his entire medical bills and go fund him herself. However, fans came to her defence, pointing out that at the time of Kylie's donation, the initial goal was only $10,000, which Kylie reached. This goal has since been increased. It's also worth noting this gentleman only worked with Kylie twice in 2015. Okay, Ange, fair criticism. Sorry. She gave $5,000. We're now saying that's not good enough. Come on.
It isn't.
Oh.
It isn't.
How is it? How people think they can tell other people how to spend their money?
It's not that. It's no. It's like she made it everybody's business because she did what Kylie Jenner does.
So she tried to help.
About Kylie Jenner. No, she then turned it. I think she did a massive disservice to this guy because I can totally see people going, yeah, nah, because of Kylie Jenner making it all about her.
No, she's getting people involved. Her fame can draw more people to that GoFundMe page than if the family had just done it.
What? So she's that blind that she didn't go, all right, so I will pay, what was it, a fifth of, his medical bills, and that won't gain negative attention. She just wanted to jump on the trauma train. She's worked with him twice, as you said, like she hardly even knows him. But then she's like petitioned the world, us poor people, to pay for his treatment, which many would have been, I think, possibly happy to contribute to. But then she can afford to, pay for a gazillion medical procedures. Why bring yourself into it? Do something properly benevolent. Maybe, a private donation to the family without attaching your name to it. She makes $25,000 an hour. She could have paid off his entire surgery in 3 hours or sold 2 of her Birkin bags. That's it. What did she think would happen?
It's not up to her to do that.
No, it's not. But what does she think would happen? It's like everybody knows that she's up there in the billionaire stakes. That if she said, all right, look, here's a tiny little pittance that I'm putting forward. Seriously, what does she think the reaction would be? People don't
maybe that people would actually just open their heart and donate to somebody they don't know?
No.
Oh, you know what upsets me here, Ange? You're making me defend a Kardashian. No, I won't have it. You're making me defend a Kardashian, and I don't like it.
I know, you really need to go and have a bath in bleach with a wire brush. I really feel that you need that in your future.
I agree with you. Oh, little Kylie Jenner, she's getting some headlines because she's helping someone. She makes $25,000 an hour. She could have just done it quietly. Keanu Reeves is one of the biggest philanthropists in Hollywood.
Exactly.
Does not have to shout it from the rooftops if she actually cared about this. But we're not talking about, someone needs $30 million. We're talking $60,000. So what she does is she goes, look at me, everyone. I'm just such a good person. So I'm going to chip in $5,000 and then everyone else. But look at me. I gave money to piss off. This idea that she is like this angel that comes down from heaven to anoint her people, to say to them, please help this man. I'm going to start.
This person now has $100,000 because she put it on Instagram and people went and donated. Job done.
All right, I hate people then.
She's an idiot. Yep.
She got him $100,000.
She's an idiot because she's trying to get herself in the headline. Like Ange was saying, it's not about helping anyone. It's Kylie Jenner, tick. I helped someone this year. That's all I need to do. Oh, piss off.
That's exactly it.
Pay the whole thing.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. And then give him $100,000. Piss off. Like, it is so transparent.
I'm sending you a
let's move on because Jason is eagerly awaiting to bring us some entertainment news. And it's a rivalry dating back decades. The war of the networks between 7 News and 9 News. And now 9 and 7 have got some issues going on in the Gold Coast with claims of copying, especially in the promos department. Yes, this is a story I broke on TV Black Box today. First, 9 News Gold Coast launched this promo 6 months ago. Have a look.
Even when the swell's not huge, on the Gold, every day's a good day for a surf.
And there's no better time than right now to get outside and enjoy life after lockdown.
Luke Brett and Gary Younger, Queensland's only weather experts who live and breathe their forecasts. Exclusive to 9 News.
And just last month, 7 Gold Coast News came out with this.
Tony Jordan and Paul Bird, the certified meteorologist and the best coastal expert there is. Knowing matters. From the science to the total local scene, the surf, the beaches, the rivers. Get it all the Gold Coast way. Only on 7 News Gold Coast at 5:30 and 6.
Well, no surprises. 7 has denied the copycat allegation, saying a Gold Coast promo based around the water isn't exactly exclusive to anyone. Robbo, I love it. Promo war. I've certainly been involved in a few. What do you reckon? Is this coincidental or is this a copycat?
Well, there are so many other wonderful things in the Gold Coast. Sex clubs, bikie clubs, terrible bars, bad food. I mean, if you want to... sure, there's all of that wonderful fodder for a promo, but really you're going to go for the beautiful water and the sandy beaches. I actually think the 7 promo was far better than the 9 promo, so who cares who came first? Obviously, you're going to make that... You're going to make it that, but the 7 promo won it for me. Much better.
Oh, Ange, I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to this stuff. Having been the originator of many original ideas, I used to get a little bit pooey when they'd copy, I'll tell you that much.
Did you now? Look, everyone copies everyone else. Seriously, and 9 and 7 particularly... Love, of course not. Of course not. I was only saying that everybody else does, just not you.
Thank you,
Anne. 9 and 7 in particular, they just love ribbing each other. And look, we used to do the exact same sort of thing when I was at Today Tonight with the current affair.
Oh, it's
and
even worse there.
Oh my God, absolutely. Look, if it wasn't a total carbon copy of each other's promos, then it would be, for us at TT, waiting to see what Acca's weekend promo for their big fancy story next week would be, and then running out to do an incredibly half-assed version and airing it first, and that was good enough. Because
and that is actually a thing that happens because I've worked...
Sure.
I've made promos for Today Tonight and A Current Affair, and you do see what the overnight promo is. So just say it's the best meat prices because they did that hard-hitting stuff.
Oh, I know.
You would literally make a new promo in the morning to do the exact same thing, and just say Today Tonight had done the meat prices promo. Akka would be there saying, right, we've got to make a meat prices promo, and the team would have to go and make a story that day to where. So you know when they always used to be the charge. A Current Affair and Today Tonight run the same stories. Yes, they bloody well did.
Oh my God, because there are only so many ideas to go round. There just aren't. They're like in a finite little pot. And, once somebody does it, then it's just fair game for everyone else. Of course they're copying each other. It's hilarious.
Well, when I came up with the First on 9 promo campaign, it became really successful. 9 News got to number 1. 3 years later, 7 started saying First on 7. And I'm like, seriously? Oh, I was angry. Still haven't gotten over it, in case you can't tell. Anyway.
I can tell. No, I can.
All right, lots to come. Beck is just around the corner from Married at First Sight, and she's going to share her views on Bryce. Is he lying? Did he have a secret girlfriend while he was married to another woman? The twists and turns of Married at First Sight. I tell you, I love it. All right, but for now, let's go to Ange with the latest news headlines.
Absolutely, let's do that. These are the stories making news on this Monday, the 22nd of March, 2021. The weather woes continue for New South Wales, the BOM updating its severe forecast through tomorrow, with heavy rainfall stretching from the northern rivers to the south coast before clearing on Wednesday. A chaotic weekend, saw thousands flee their homes, while schools remain shut and scores have been rescued in what's being called once-in-a-generation flooding. The BOM says all states apart from WA are expected to be affected by the deluge. Meanwhile, SES workers have blasted idiotic drivers for ignoring cautions and driving through floodwaters like this man in his Nissan Pulsar. Rescuers have been pushed to the limit trying to help countless families who face losing their homes as too much of their time is wasted trying to save motorists who end up trapped in their cars after refusing to heed warnings. NRL star Jared Hayne is looking at a possible 14-year prison sentence after being found guilty of sexual assault. Declaring outside a Sydney court, "I spoke the truth," Hayne said he would definitely appeal. It followed a 7-day trial in which a jury found him guilty of 2 counts of sexual intercourse without consent, involving a woman he'd been talking to, but who had chosen not to have sex with Hayne after he turned up at her house but kept a taxi waiting outside. The unnamed woman said that told her he was only there for one thing, but that he proceeded to forcibly kiss her and sexually assault her, causing lacerations and bleeding. The ex-Parramatta fullback Hayne will be sentenced on May the 6th. A Parliament House security guard on duty on the night Brittany Higgins was allegedly raped has spoken out for the first time to reveal details of what happened. Higgins, a former Liberal staffer, alleges she was raped by a colleague in Reynolds' office in 2019 after a night out. Nicola Anderson, who has spent 12 years in the job, told Four Corners how she let Higgins and the man in, noting how intoxicated Higgins was, before eventually finding Higgins in then Defence Minister Linda Reynolds' office after the incident. Anderson also questioned Scott Morrison's claim that there was a security breach at Parliament House, clarifying that guards on duty that night followed correct procedure. Travelling to New Zealand without the need to quarantine is still a dream for Aussies after Jacinda Ardern announced today that a trans-Tasman bubble is still weeks away. The New Zealand PM has hinted that a big travel announcement was on the cards, with many expecting her to reveal an agreement had finally been reached after months of negotiations. However, Ardern instead said her government would announce the start date for quarantine-free travel between the two countries would be revealed on April the 6th. And two of Porsche's most revered sports cars are about to change forever. It's been rumoured for a good few years now that the Boxster and the Cayman are set to ditch petrol power and go all electric. And if new reports are anything to go by, that decision is imminent. Porsche chief Oliver Bloom has also confirmed there will be a next generation of each sports car, no matter the power source, with the first examples due in 2023. He added that the brand's future was definitely 100% electric, but they needed to have a mix of petrol, hybrid and electric cars in the near future. Porsche has also enlisted the help of former Aussie F1 driver and current test driver Mark Webber to develop the driving experience. And getting a check of tomorrow's weather now. Mostly sunny for Cairns and 33. Rain at times for Brisbane and 24. Rain possibly heavy for Sydney and 22. Rain possibly heavy as well for Canberra and 18. Showers for Melbourne and 21. A shower or two with a high of 23. Partly cloudy in Adelaide and 25. Cloud clearing in Perth and 26. A possible shower or storm for Alice Springs hitting at 27. And a shower or two as well as a possible storm for Darwin and 32. Righto then, I think it's time to get the very latest in entertainment with our very own Jason Roses, who looks all dressed up and ready for his first day at school.
I quite like my outfit. That's funny. Thank you, Ange. Coming up in the entertainment report, big news regarding the future of the Real Housewives of Melbourne. Luckily, we know someone on the inside who can share the inside goss with us. Dr. Phil, he's of course in big trouble over disturbing allegations, and I have all the shocking details. and Orlando Bloom gives the most bizarre interview in the history of a celebrity interviews. You won't believe what he said. And of course, more shocking revelations from that Oprah interview with Meghan and Harry. Yep, folks, there's even more stuff you haven't seen. The Entertainment Report is about 8 minutes away, right here on the And, Rob and Robbo show. But first, here's to Robbo. Robbo, do you like my outfit?
Oh, I certainly do. I think there's a lot there to like. You're looking very handsome, very nice. Okay, now pull your fishing line back in so I can continue with the show. For goodness sake. Bye-bye, buddy. We'll see Jason Roses in just a moment here on the And, Rob and Robbo show. But for now, let's check out what day, the 22nd of March, throughout history. You've got to be joking.
I just thought I'd mix it up a bit. I finally found the theme.
You were so excited about getting the theme. Would you mind turning on Angie's mic? I don't know. She's a host. She's in the title.
Sorry,
There
Ange.
we go. Yeah, she's been talking for ages.
Fine, yeah.
Sorry, I just figured you were going to have a go at me for doing that. Good theme, though. All right, I've been given the wind-up. Time for On This Day, Rob.
Thank you, Rob. Let's take a look at what's happened on this day. 22nd of March throughout history. And it was on this day in 1784 that the Emerald Buddha was given its present home. It is believed to have been found in Thailand in around 1434, but after moving around many sites, it settled in the Temple of the Emerald Buddha in Bangkok. With each change in season, the King of Thailand changes the clothing on the Buddha statue, and I've been lucky enough to be there. It is beautiful. And it has been a very special day for legendary composer Andrew Lloyd Webber. It is both his birthday, born in 1948, and the anniversary of his marriage to his second wife. I thought he was a friend of Dorothy's. I've got to be honest with you there.
Don't never assume.
They did divorce 6 years later. Some of his most iconic works, including Cats, Evita, and Phantom of the Opera. Is this real? Okay. Wow. And finally, it was on this day in 1957 that we were all shook up with Elvis. The song reached #1 and stayed there for 8 weeks. It has been covered by many bands and artists, including the Beatles and Billy Joel. And it was listed at number 352 on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you very much, Robbo. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on, because there's a reason Married at First Sight is Australia's #1 show, and it all comes down to drama. This week, a scandal has broken out where groom Bryce was accused of having a girlfriend while being married to Melissa. And our next guest has been in the thick of it. Here's Beck first, though, confronting Bryce in front of everyone.
Bryce, you know what you said in the gym.
Well, tell me. What did I say?
We've already had this conversation
But
out
what did
there,
I say?
so why do you want me to
Everyone's
say it
listening.
again?
What did I say? Everyone's listening.
Sorry, you said, first of all, I don't want to tell you where I put you, but I put you up on the top of the attraction scale.
Yeah, but that's a long gone, mate.
Hang on, this is a conversation we had, and then you said it will be so easy to get to the end of this with Liz. She's easy to get along with, and I was thinking, endgame, why are you treating this like a game? Then you said there's a girl on the outside, you had a friend here, and I don't know if he did, in Sydney, and he said to me that his friend was going back and asked if he wanted to buy a gift for this girl, but he didn't want to get caught, so he didn't. That was the conversation.
Mate, you're a blatant liar, so I'm just listening to your bullshit.
You're sitting here blatantly lying yourself.
I'm
How
not
can
lying.
you sit here and lie?
How am I lying?
version of the conversation? Like, what is
we
your
had a chat in
version
the
of
gym, I said that,
Yeah.
and I said the comments, but I'd never mentioned a gift. This is the thing.
But you mentioned a girl.
Mate, sorry I met a girl on Tinder 2 months before coming here and slept with her a couple of times. Yeah.
Wow, drama, drama, drama. Beck joins me now. Beck, someone's telling porcupines.
Hello, and yes, someone definitely is telling porcupines.
Is it you or Bryce?
Oh, We all know it's Bryce. Even his body language and his fight style says it all.
Now, look, for anyone who hasn't been watching, the claim is Bryce told you he had a girlfriend while filming Married at First Sight, which is obviously supposed to be a show about finding love, and you're saying he openly told you that.
Yeah, so I actually didn't know there was a rumour going around at all when the dinner party first started. Jake and I walked in quite blindsided to it and everyone was talking about it. So we think it obviously has stemmed off Joe, who was the only other person that I confided in and spoke to about. Yet even to her I said, I don't have, any proof that he said this to me, and we kind of let it lie. And now Jake was actually the first one to know all about the information, because what happened was, as soon as Bryce told me this information in the gym, Jake actually entered the gym. So I left with him and said, hey, Jake, we've got a cuckoo on our hands here, and told Jake everything. Jake was the one that actually prevented me from confronting Bryce about it, even at the first dinner party when I seen him going for Sam. And I even said to Jake, I should just say something. And Jake's like, no, just let it go, let it go. And then as soon as it turned into rumour, I was like, may as well just address it. And I was trying to help the guy. I was like, this is your opportunity just to say what you said, rather than it being, about a secret girlfriend. I just wanted everyone to know what I'd been told. And he dug himself a grave, to put it bluntly.
Well, yes. Beck, I've got to say, if he's lying, he is an amazing liar. Like, seriously, let's have a look at you two talking during last night's commitment ceremony, because his focus is... Seriously, if I was a juror and he was testifying, I would believe his testimony. Let's have a look.
The fact that you told me that you were buying a present for someone else.
I never said those words.
Okay, Bryce. Again, he said, she said, and we knew this would happen.
All you can say to me is, okay, Bryce. You can't validate what you're saying.
Because
all you say
it's
is, okay,
he said,
Bryce.
she said. It always will be, and you will continue. You'll continue to fight that demon inside you and deny it as much as you want.
Let me step in. Stupidity, John. It's honestly arguing with a child, man.
Why do you always belittle people? Even in the gym, you're belittling your wife to me to make yourself feel bigger.
Can I just jump in?
Can I please continue, Bryce?
I don't think you deserve it, not during our catch time.
Bryce.
Jesus.
So, Beck, when you see him so adamant about that, do you ever doubt yourself? Like, do you ever think, well, maybe I misheard?
Not at all. I think if someone thinks something's a rumour, why wouldn't they just laugh it off or confirm that it is a rumour? It's the way he presents himself, his red ears, his hand around his mouth. It's all the small things that lies actually do. I think that kind of do give it away. However, again, I think it's just the way he approached the situation. I gave him 3 opportunities to kind of speak to Melissa, and that's when he started unravelling himself and kind of couldn't keep the story straight. And I already seen the way he was treating Melissa as it was, so I didn't want to, I guess, back down from him, even though he was trying to, I guess, intimidate.
Well, he was certainly trying to make you doubt yourself. There's no doubt about that. Look, the Paps have plenty of photos of Bryce and Melissa together, so we know they're still an item. That's not in doubt. What piece of advice do you have for Melissa?
Look, no spoilers, but there is some advice I already do give Melissa. She is not experienced in relationships, and like everyone would have seen on the couch the other night, she's scared that Bryce is going to leave her. She should not be scared of someone else leaving her. She should be scared that she might lose herself in that process. So my advice to Melissa is stay true to who you are, and don't get lost in, I guess, someone else's narcissistic behaviour.
So would you, if you were playing Dolly Doctor or something, would you say stay or leave?
I would say run.
Well, fair enough. Can you understand, though, why she has chosen to believe her partner Bryce and not you?
Oh, 100%. You know, Melissa's entered this experiment and is deeply and madly falling for Bryce. You know, the thought of her not having him by her side, I can see could be, you know, so heartbreaking. And it wasn't even about wanting her to believe me. It was more around wanting her to address it and, I guess, find out more rather than just put all her trust in Bryce, you know. Maybe try ask him to back it up with some evidence, for example. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, as you can see, I am invested in this series, and I'm invested with what's happening with you as well. You've got things happening on multiple fronts. Let's talk about tonight's episode, because it didn't exactly go well for you and Jake when you had that Zoom call with both your families. Your mum was really ready to pull him into line, wasn't she?
Absolutely. I've never seen Mum so under fire, but yeah, it was good watch.
Look, it was. And do you think your mum was playing favourites with you, or do you think she was looking at it objectively?
Definitely objectively. My mum has never played favourites with me, ever. Even in previous relationships, she's always been like my harshest critic. What I guess you don't see is they watched the 3 commitment ceremonies prior. Now, these were before they were edited. So mum's been able to see the unedited version of the 3 commitment ceremonies, and she's going off that. So what you see and what she sees is very different.
Got you. In what we saw, though, as a viewer tonight, you seemed genuinely surprised that Jake wanted to call it quits.
Yeah, I feel quite frustrated, I think, at this point. Jake's thrown in the towel very fast and very easy, especially off the back end of such a great week. And this is where I feel I'm trying to address issues that I'm having with Jake, and he's choosing not to agree or listen to the problems that I'm having with him. And it was easier for him to kind of just bail on the idea of trying to improve our relationship.
Well, it sounds like you don't let him go without a fight, so I'm really looking forward to see what happens over the next week or two. Beck, Married at First Sight continues at 7:30 tomorrow. Seriously, this is the #1 show on television for a reason. Thank you for joining us again on the Ange, Rob and Robbo show. I hope you'll come back.
No worries, my pleasure. Always will come back to you guys. Love it. Thanks.
It's the random life shot of the day. Where are you going today? You never know where you'll end up with the random life shot of the day.
Well, today we're taking you to one of my favourite places on the planet. It's, of course, Hong Kong, and one of their double-decker trams. It's a fun ride. This tram goes from Kennedy Town Terminus to Sai Wan Ho Depot entrance. And another way you can get around Hong Kong, it turns out, is by escalator, with them boasting the world's longest covered escalator running for over 800 metres. They're coming to the end of a cloudy and mild day with a top of 19 and a bottom of 15 degrees. Oh, I love that city. Love that place. Let's have a look at some feedback here on the Ange, Rob and Robo show. MP Matson says, as Parliament House becomes King's Cross? I think it became King's Cross a long time ago. No question on that. Jason Turner says, should we have a black light with us if we ever to a Parliament House? It'll glow like a casino there, Jason, I reckon. Don't go to the prayer room. Claire says, I loved Hey Hey back in the day, but its time has passed. Hey Hey, it's Saturday we're talking about there. Nicole says, agree, Rove, he is a nice guy, but he's not funny. It was the others around him that brought the laughs to the show. Nicole, you always speak sense. Justine says, Uncle Rob, Bryson has joined the party watching and keeps trying to kiss the screen.
Oh, that's her little baby who watches the show all the time, and I haven't met. I'm actually meeting in a few weeks for the first time, Robbo.
Oh, that's blessed. Hello there, Bryson. Next up, Jan Murphy says, I go back to the old days. There will never be another Graham Kennedy. He could make the ads funny. In fact, the ads were the best with him. And if you'd like to leave your feedback, you can find us on the ARR show on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter, or Ange Rob Robbo on Twitch, TikTok and Instagram.
You got that down pat, my friend. Hey, look, it's time to bring in the one and only Jason Roses for a hit of entertainment. Come on in, Jason. Come on into the show.
Hello,
I like that. Well done. Jason, we've got a lot to talk about because one of the original housewives, it's been in the press today that she's leaving the show.
It's very sad. Now, you guys don't know this, but I am a huge fan of this housewife, Gina Liano, one of the original housewives since 2014, is leaving. This will be her last season. Producers, of course, they now need to find a new leading woman. New housewives entering this season, of course, include our very own Anjali Rao. Now, Ange, I don't know if you can say much, but what has the reaction been within the cast about this news?
I'm afraid my earpiece has just died and I can't hear a single thing you're saying.
No, we should explain that we do know Ange can't talk about anything regarding the show. She can't confirm anything. She's been very tight-lipped even with us. But there have been rumours swirling, I will say. I'll talk from my sources, not Ange's. There have been rumours swirling, so it's going to be interesting. I'm sure Ange would say, watch this space.
No, I can't with something better than that.
Oh, my God.
Can I?
Floor's yours, Ange.
Wait, can I vote that Ange takes over being the queen from Gina, and we crown Ange the new queen of the housewives this year?
We all know that's why Gina left. The queen is dead. Long live the queen. Queen, all hail Queen Ange.
Worship at my altar.
I will worship your altar.
We're not worthy. Love it. I know. If I could share anything with you, my darling friends, you know I would.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We know you would. We know.
One
Jason,
day.
a former Dr. Phil guest who went viral is demanding an apology.
Yes, Bad Barbie, otherwise known as Danielle, appeared on Dr. Phil in 2016 with this catchphrase which went viral. And there's a video.
We don't have the video.
Great,
Sorry,
no
Jason.
worry.
So it was basically what she was saying.
Stand by.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?
What I just said.
Oh, I remember that. Catch me outside. That's what it said.
It's Bad Baby. It's Bad Baby. I know.
Bad Baby.
So,
did I say Barbie?
yeah.
Well, she became very famous. Yeah, she became very famous because of that. Now, she was referred to a ranch called Turnabout where troubled youth go, but now she's demanding an apology from Dr. Phil. She alleges she suffered physical and mental abuse, and she also spoke of a girl named Hannah who was also on Dr. Phil and went to the ranch and accused one of the staff of sexually assaulting her. Here is some of what she had to say.
It's just our word against the staff's word when you're there, because there's no witnesses, there's no cameras, you don't have a phone, there's none of that. That's why I was always so scared to speak out, because it's like no one's gonna believe me. I'm not really sure why Dr. Phil still sends kids here. It really doesn't make sense. Like, are you trying to help them or are you trying to hurt them even more? Because, I mean, we all know he's a phony as it is, but like, don't be sending kids somewhere just to make it look like you're trying to do something. So, Dr. Phil, I'm going to give you from now till April 5th to issue an apology, not only to me, but to Hannah and any other child that you sent to Turnabout or any other program like this. And if you don't, I'm gonna handle things my way.
Wow.
In the 9-minute... Yeah, I know. It's powerful stuff. And in that video, she talks about not being allowed to sleep, not being fed properly, and kids being illegally restrained. Dr. Phil, he's yet to respond, but it's some pretty serious allegations.
Yeah.
Oh, my word. I mean, you know, Turnabout Ranch is known for being incredibly hardcore. You know,
So was
seen
Dr.
sort of
Phil's- he was-
documentaries about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he was
so
just
that's what-
recommending...
No, so he, I mean, she was a very troubled young lady, and you know, all of the people that he sends to Turnabout they're like really, really troubled teens who are going down a dark path, and it has a very high reputation, Turnabout Ranch. Of course, it's not nice. It's not fun. You don't want to go there. You know, the teens are normally sort of sent, you know, kicking and screaming like, you know, sort of possessed demonic entities. But they have a very high success rate. So I've never heard anything like this coming out. But it's not a holiday camp. Like, no one wants to go there.
No, we don't know if this is credible or what. She's certainly someone with a troubled past. But, of course, if there was abuse, then, you know, that needs to be discussed and the police called in, to be honest. Robbo.
Very true. Quickly moving on, just changing pace. Now, Borat and the subsequent movie film, they were almost arrested, Jason. What happened there?
Yeah, one of the producers of Borat's subsequent movie film has spoken at the Producers Guild of America panel. Monica Levitin said he claimed we were trying to extort him at the time, which we didn't ask for anything. He called all of his New York City cops and said extortion, which was a federal crime. Movies like this are going to show people's true colours. You're responsible for your own decisions. Now, of course, she's talking about a scene where Rudy Giuliani is in a fake interview and was captured in a compromising position after drinking with the young interviewee. Yeah, obviously it's come out that Rudy Giuliani was trying to claim extortion from the film. Get over it.
Smart way to try and kill it. But, look, it wasn't... It was icky. Work. It wasn't the smoking gun that we all thought it was going to be. So, yeah, anyway. Hey, Jason, an interview with Orlando Bloom has everyone laughing and scratching their heads. What has he said?
Oh, God. So an interview with the Sunday Times, it's gone viral after he went through his daily routine and meals. He said, I like to earn my breakfast, so I'll just have some green powders that I mix with brain octane oil, a collagen powder for my hair and nails, and some protein. It's all quite LA, really. Then I'll go for a hike while I listen to some Nirvana or Stone Temple Pilots. By 9 a.m. it's breakfast, which is usually porridge, a little hazelnut milk, cinnamon, vanilla paste, hazelnuts, go-to berries, a vegan, this is ridiculous, a vegan protein powder, and a cup of PG tips. I'm 90% plant-based, so I'll only eat a good piece of meat once a month. Now, of course, viewers can't tell if this is a joke. It sounds like it is. I'm not convinced if he's trolling us or if this is true, but this sounds very Hollywood. I mean, you know,
it's
Orlando
like
has
Pete
to
Evans activating his nuts.
Orlando's nuts.
Oh, Jesus, Jason.
Blimey. Oh, my God.
Can I say that? I get one moment to show to say something a little cheeky, and that was it. So forgive me.
Yeah. Good
oh, you're all right, Jason. We love you for it.
Okay, great. Everyone. Yes.
Like, you would never think this after the Oprah interview or stroke debacle, but there's actually yet more that we didn't see. Oh my God, how long was this going? Seriously.
Okay. So what we saw was an hour and a half of the interview, but the full interview actually went for 3 hours and 20 minutes. So there is still an hour and a half we haven't seen. Sources say that the palace is very nervous because, of course, will this be round 2? More than 12 million viewers watched it. So I'm sure the networks are dying to get the uncut version. But you know what? I'm going to put my 2 bobs in. Enough's enough. Meghan and Harry, you guys wanted this quiet life and you wanted to go to LA and you didn't want the paparazzi.
Yes.
So stop with the interviews. Get out of our life. Live your quiet life. Go buy your basket of eggs on a Sunday. Cook some pancakes and just be done with it.
Yes. Agreed.
Yes.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Jason, thank you very much. We will see you tomorrow. And that brings us to the end of the And Robin Robbo Show. I've just got one thing to say.
Tonight.
We'll see you tomorrow. Sorry, too loud.